Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Thank you all for very kindly joining. Also, before we get started, just a humble request. If it's feasible and if it's possible, if we can turn on our videos so that um, we both can see each other. Otherwise, it seems a little impersonal where I can just see the black screen and I don't know whether we are there in the conversation or whether we aren't. So if it's possible, we can, and if not, we can just hear, no worries. Before we get started, I really want to express my heartfelt gratitude to the Sangha Initiative, TSI, for very kindly having me, and to all the devotees who have been managing the TSI for years now. I've been always hearing about the TSI, their programs that they do, the outreach events that happens. So to all the devotees who make sure are present in the planning, in the coordinating of the events, making sure you get the guest speakers, arranging outdoor events, etc. My very, very humble obeisances to all of you all for very religiously doing it for so many years and inspiring so many youth across North America. I think not just the East Coast and the Central, but even in the West Coast, TSI is pretty prominent. So my heartfelt gratitude and my heartfelt humble obeisances. Before we get started, let us chant the Mangala Charan prayers, seek auspiciousness from our spiritual superiors like Srila Prabhupada, and then get started in our today's discussion. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Priyutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadhvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamsya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये अंशाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनेति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे राम राम हरे हरे गुरवे गौरचन्द्राय राधिकाय तदालये कृष्णाय कृष्णभक्ताय तद्भक्ताय नमो नमः Hare Krishna. Before we begin, let us offer our heartfelt prostrated obeisances a million times at the lotus feet of Abhay Charanaravinda, Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada, because of whose endeavor at the fag end of his life at the age of 70, because of whose endeavor we are all present here, desiring to hear something about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the most auspicious month of Kartik. At the same time, offering my head a million times at the lotus feet of all the wonderful, glorious disciples of Prabhupada who are traveling around the world and preaching this message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, sacrificing their life at the lotus feet of Prabhupada and sacrificing all that they have only so that Mahaprabhu's prophecy of Priti Viche Ate Jadi Nagaradi Gram Sarvatra Prachar Hoive Mora Nam, so that this can be gone in every town and village. The disciples of Prabhupada are traveling around the world. So my obeisance to all of them, and my obeisance to all the devotees present here. There are some names and some faces that are familiar, and some with whom I have not yet met. But hopefully, Krishna willing, Radharani willing, someday we all can not just virtually meet, but can also physically meet in the form of Hari Katha and Hari Kirtan. Having said this, I now attempt to start our conversation. In fact, the topic that is given is really very high. It's very, very esoteric. And I say this for multiple reasons because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he was in Navadvip, he was more in the sense of debating, arguing with Keshav Kashmiri and so many others. But as Mahaprabhu matured, as his bhav increased and as his bhav matured more and more, we see at the holy land of Jagannath Puri, where so many devotees are present at this point. Srila Radhanath Maharaj's Yatra is starting from today, 16. So there are about 10,000 devotees who have assembled in Jagannath Puri to hear about Jagannath and primarily about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath. And as Mahaprabhu's pastimes were unfolding, we see it peaked, it reached the pinnacle, it reached the threshold in the land of Jagannath Puri. Mahaprabhu in the land of Jagannath Puri was like a golden volcano. There's one god brother of Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj, and he has written a book called as Golden Volcano. He addresses Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the Golden Volcano. Why? Because in the land of Jagannath Puri, Mahaprabhu was like that golden volcano, exploding completely in the mood of Srimati Radharani. Now, oftentimes we say that Mahaprabhu, well, he's in the mood of Radharani. Mahaprabhu, he's in the mood of Radharani. Mahaprabhu, he's in the mood of Radharani. But what is this mood of Radharani? So, in our today's discussion, we will try to jump into that aspect, that untouched territory of what is Mahaprabhu's mood or what mood of Srimati Radharani is he experiencing in the land of Jagannath Puri or during the Rath Yatra festival. So, again, before we get started, I highly encourage that if it's possible, we can take a book and pen and write down, because if that is not going to be there, very soon we are going to be off conversation. It's going to be a little technical, little philosophical, but that is required so that we understand what Mahaprabhu is experiencing during the Rath Yatra festival. Oftentimes we hear about the pastimes, so I wouldn't get much into the pastimes, but discussing some technical aspects of what Gauranga Mahaprabhu or which mood of Radharani Mahaprabhu is experiencing during Rath Yatra festival. So if we can write it down, we will understand it best. And at the same time, we will also be in a position where we can also explain it to others when this point is brought up. When Srila Gauragovinda Swami Maharaj, the lion amongst Prabhupada's disciples, when Srila Gauragovinda Maharaj was in the land of Mayapur, this was February of 1996. He was sitting in his room and a few disciples of his, they came to his room and they asked Srila Gauragovinda Maharaj that, Gurudev, we want to know from your lotus lips that what is the mood that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was experiencing when he saw Jagannath eye to eye, face to face, cheek to cheek. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw that form of Jagannath during Rath Yatra, or when he was living in the land of Jagannath Puri, What was going on in his heart? Because of which he was exploding like a volcano, because of which he was always crying, because of which he was always sobbing. What was he experiencing in the heart? And Srila Gauragovinda Maharaj started answering this question. And as Srila Gauragovinda Maharaj was answering, tears were just flowing from his eyes like Ganga and Jamuna, uncontrollable. He would take a handkerchief and he would try to wipe his tears, but they were just flowing, and he couldn't practically do anything about it. And as the discussion continued, Srila Gauragovinda Maharaj explained that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri is Radharani in separation from Krishna, and Jagannath is Krishna in separation from Radharani. And this is the first time Radharani in separation from Krishna is saying Krishna in separation from Radharani. And now, when these two separated personalities meet each other, there is romancha kampa shrutaranga bhajo. There is hair standing on end and there's tears flowing. And as Guru Govinda Maharaj was speaking, this wasn't theoretical. He was actually feeling it. His hair was standing on end. Our hair stands on end when during winter there's no heater in the room. That is our predicament. That's when our hair stands on end. But Srila Guru Govinda Maharaj, as he's explaining about Radha and Krishna, primarily Chaitanya Mahaprabhu seeing Jagannath, hair is standing on end, tears are flowing. He got completely choked and he called few of his other disciples and said, Baba, Kirtan, Kirtan, Kirtan. Please do Kirtan, I cannot speak. So they started doing Kirtan. And then he asked for his photo, the photo of his deity. Srila Gauragovinda Maharaj, from his childhood, would worship the deity of Gopalju. That's why his publication is also called as Gopalju publication, which is now managed by Madhavananda Prabhu. So he called for his photo, his deity's photo, and he was looking at the photo and incessantly crying. And his tongue was chanting Gopal, 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 Gopal. And other disciples who were sitting there, this is very foreign for them. They didn't know what to even react. They didn't know how to pacify their guru there. They asked a question, but that question ended up in choking the throat of Guru Govinda Maharaj. So much so that seeing the photo of Gopal in front of him, chanting the name of Gopal from his lotus lips, eyes fixed on the form of Gopal in the holy land of Mayapur on the appearance day of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, February 1996. Srila Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj sitting on the Vyasasana speaking about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu seeing Jagannath royally like Bhishma Dev left this world. Sitting on the Vyasasana. You can imagine this is almost like a fairy tale. People pray for such a departure. Here is Srila Gauragovinda Maharaj sitting on the Vyasasana speaking about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu seeing Jagannath, having Gopal's name on his lotus lips, having the photo in front of him in the land of Mayapur on the day of Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur's appearance. Doesn't get any better than this. Really doesn't get any better. And then Gauragovinda Maharaj left this world. Now, why am I saying this? It is because the topic that has been given is that same topic that was given to Gauragovinda Swami Maharaj. This topic is so deep that the pran, the life air of Gaur Govinda Maharaj was taken out just by speaking about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jagannath Puri. So it's a very, very esoteric topic. And what can I do? How much justice can I do to this topic? Hmm? But whatever I've heard from Srila Guru Govinda Maharaj and from the works of Prabhupada and disciples of Prabhupada, we will try to discuss that. Srimad Bhagavatam is not different from Sri Krishna. The 12 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam are the different limbs of Krishna's body. And of the 12 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam, we see the 10th canto is the crux, the essence, the summum bonum. You see, that's what Prabhupada also writes in the first page of 10th canto, summum bonum, which means the essence, the gist, the crux. Now, this 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is considered the smiling face of Sri Krishna. And naturally, you see, whenever you see someone, the first thing that we look at is the smiling face. No one wants to be around someone who is always morose, who's always depressed. We don't like such company. We are naturally happy being around people who are happy or who spread positivity. We don't want to be around people who are always sad or who are always anxious, etc. So Krishna's face, that smiling face of Shyamasundar Sri Krishna, Vrindavan Bihari Sri Krishna, Gopinath Sri Krishna, is the 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam. But this 10th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, few acharyas write, it is also like the heart of Sri Krishna. Few commentators write that it is like the face of Krishna, and some commentators write that it is like the heart of Krishna. And heart means heartbeat. There's heartbeat. And you see in Ayurveda, there is something called as Pancha Pran, the five life airs. We would have heard. Even though we may not know much about Ayurveda, this word Pancha Pran we would have heard. Which means these are the five life airs which keeps the body intact. Similarly, dear devotees, our acharyas explain if Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna, 10th canto is like the heart of Sri Krishna, and this Pancha Pran in the heart are the five important chapters of the 10th canto. What are the five important chapters? Canto 10, chapter 21, Bedu Geet. Canto 10, chapter 31, Gopi Geet. Canto 10, chapter 35, Yugal Geet. Canto 10, chapter 39, Viraha Geet. And Canto 10, chapter 47, Brahmar Geet. These are the five life airs of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, of all the Vedic scriptures, Bhagavatam is the topmost. But in Srimad Bhagavatam, of the 12th cantos, 10th canto is the topmost. But in the 10th canto, of the 90 chapters, these five chapters are the topmost. Which means of the 335 chapters of Bhagavatam, these five chapters are the topmost. And of these five chapters, Canto 10, chapter 31, Gopi Geet is the topmost. It is the essence of the essence of the essence of the essence. Similarly, just like Bhagavatam is Krishna, isn't Chaitanya Charitamrita Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Of course it is. If Bhagavatam is Krishna, Chaitanya Charitamrita also has to be Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So just like Bhagavatam has five life airs, similarly Chaitanya Charitamrita has five life airs. So we are drawing parallels between Krishna Lila and Gaura Lila. Gaur Govinda Maharaj would say Krishna Lila is Gaura Lila is Krishna Lila, no difference. So just like Bhagavatam is Krishna and has five life airs, similarly Chaitanya Charitamrita is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and this Chaitanya Charitamrita also has five life airs, which means the five most important chapters from Mahaprabhu's 48 years in this earthly planet. What are the five life airs of Gauranga Mahaprabhu? First, Roop Siksha, Mahaprabhu's teachings to Rup Goswami. Second, Sanatan Siksha, Mahaprabhu's teachings to Sripad Sanatan Goswami. Third, Raya Ramananda Samvad, Mahaprabhu's conversation with Ramananda Rai, not teaching. You see, that's the only place where Samvad is used. For Rup Goswami, it is Siksha. Sanatan Goswami, Siksha. Raghunath Das Goswami, Siksha. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, Siksha. Prakashananda Saraswati, Siksha. Everywhere Mahaprabhu is speaking, it is only in Raya Ramananda Samvad Mahaprabhu is wanting to hear and Raya Ramananda is speaking. So, Kaviraj Goswami doesn't dare use the word Siksha, he uses Samvad, which means discussion. How beautifully these terms are coined. So, first, Rup Siksha. Second, Sanatan Siksha. Third, Raya Ramananda Samvad. Fourth is Siksashtakam prayers that we chant in the morning. In the morning, we chant Na Dhanam, Na Janam, Na Sundarim. Whether we mean or not, that's a different thing. We still parrot it in the morning. So that's the fourth life air of Chaitanya Charitamrita. And the fifth and the most important, in line with our discussion, is the Jagannath Rath Yatra festival. This Rath Yatra festival that Mahaprabhu was experiencing or he was part of is one of the life airs of Chaitanya Charitamrita. It is one of the most important pastimes in Gauranga Mahaprabhu's 48 years in this earthly realm. So to that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, whose life air has been discussed by Srila Prabhupada in the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, we will try to touch something from a philosophical standpoint to understand what is going on in his heart when he sees Jagannath. This is primarily the mood. When Mahaprabhu is seeing Jagannath during the Rath Yatra, what is going on in his heart? During Rath Yatra, when we go, what is going on in our heart? Oftentimes, Rath Yatra is there during, you know, summertime, June, July. and it's very hot. Even if you're in America, it gets very hot. So we all go with that cap, big cap, small cap, and we are waiting when the Rath Yatra is done. Or we just pull little and then we look for a shade. अरे अभी बाकी लोग कर लेंगे, मेरा हो गया, 5 मिनट हो गया प्रभु जी, अभी बाकी लोग कर लेंगे, others will do it. But seldom do we do it for like 1 hour because it's very difficult. And what to speak of Jagannath Puri, where lakhs and lakhs of people come? It's practically stampede that goes on in Puri. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mood was not this. Mahaprabhu was constantly looking at the eye of Jagannath and was pulling the Rath. And there was something very, very significant and very, very deep that was going on in his heart. Sri Krishna in the land of Vrindavan has a form called as Swayam Roop Krishna. Now, this Swayam Roop Krishna has four attributes: Gopavesh, Benukar, Navakishore, Natavar. Gopavesh. He dresses like a Gopa. Now, please hear this carefully. Krishna in Vrindavan, Swayam Roop Krishna. He has Gopavesh. He dresses like a Gopa, which means yellow garments. He has nice more mukut, more mukut dhari, peacock feather. He has a flute. He has Gopa Vesh and he has Gopa Avesh. He's also in the mood of a Gopa and he's dressed like a Gopa. Why in the mood of Gopa? Because he is convinced that he is Yashodananda. He is Nandananda. So the mood is that of Gopa, form is that of Gopa. Gopa Vesh. Second, Venukar, he plays the flute. Krishna plays the flute. Navakishore, Krishna is very youthful. Adhyam Purana Purusham Nava Yovanam cha. Krishna, you see in the battlefield of Kurukshetra also, Krishna was about 96. But he doesn't look 96. People of this world, when they're 96, well, most people don't even live till 96 nowadays. And even for those who live, there are no teeth, there is no hair. You cannot walk on two legs, you have to walk on three legs. There is cataract, the eyes cannot see, the ears cannot hear, the legs cannot walk. You can't comprehend anything. You need people to help you. Climbing steps is a challenge. One time, His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj was saying in one class, he was saying, none of you know what Prabhupada has done. So the disciples were there. They said, "No, Gurudev, we know what Prabhupada has done." The teacher said, "No. None of you all know what Prabhupada has done. Why? Because none of you all are 70 years old. The day you turn 70, you will realize even climbing steps is a big time challenge. And then to establish 108 temples, farm communities, have so many disciples, write books, writing books from 12 a.m. to 4 a.m. That time when we snore, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Snoranam. That time when we are snoring, that is the time Prabhupada is translating books, hardly sleeping for a few hours. So Srila Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj said, none of you all know because none of you all are 70. The day you turn 70, you will realize the importance of what Prabhupada has given this world. So Krishna is ever youthful, never gets old. And Natava, he is the best among dancers. There is no one who dances better than Krishna. Even Shivji, Bholenath, who is so good at dancing, but he is no match to Krishna's dancing. But there is one personality who's better than Krishna in dancing. And that personality is Srimati Radharani. Radharani is better than Krishna in everything. And now Krishna is kind of having an inferiority complex. Because here is Srimati Radharani who is better than Krishna in everything. She is 10 million times more beautiful than Krishna. She dances better than Krishna. She looks better than Krishna. She has better flute playing abilities than Krishna. Everything is better. And Krishna is poor guy. Krishna is scratching his head and thinking, what is this? She's better than me in everything. Sripad Aindra Prabhu would say, you can hear it in one room conversation. Aindra Prabhu says, if you see Krishna, you will faint. If you see Radharani, you will die. He would say, if you see Krishna, you will faint. But if you see my Radharani, he says, if you see my Radharani, you will die. Your body will not be able to take it. There will be 440-volt jhatka. Your body cannot take the beauty of Srimati Radharani. It's a typical Ayendra Prabhu style of saying, if you see Krishna, you will faint. If you see Srimati Radharani, you will die. So Radharani is better than Krishna in practically everything. But this form of Krishna is called as Swayam Roop Krishna. Gopavesh, Venukar, Navakishore, Natavar. He has Gopavesh, form of Gopa, and Gopa Avesh, mood of a Gopa. Now, when this Krishna has to expand for pastimes, the first form of expansion is called as Prabhav Prakash. Prakash means illumination. When that Krishna expands, he illuminates the heart of his devotees. When he expands, the first form of expansion is called as Prabhav Prakash. Now, what is this Prabhav Prakash in basic language? Prabhav Prakash is that expansion of Krishna where the mood and form of Swayamrup Krishna is retained, which means he looks like a Gopa and he also thinks like a Gopa. Now, what is the example? You see, Kali Yuga is such, till the time you don't have examples, it's very difficult to comprehend, very difficult to follow. So, what's the example Kaviraj Goswami gives? Kaviraj Goswami gives the example that in Vrindavan, Krishna expanded during the Rasa dance. Sharadiya Ras Purnima, Sharad Purnima. Krishna expands and has the Rasa dance. Now, in the Rasa dance, you see, there are so many Krishnas who are present. There are so many Krishnas who are dancing with so many Braja Gopis. Now, those Krishnas who are present there, is the form like a Gopa? Yes, because there is yellow garments, there is Venu in his hand, there is peacock feather. Is the mood like a Gopa? Yes, because there also during the Rasa dance, he is convinced that he is Yashodananda. So the form and the mood of Swayambhu Krishna is maintained, and this expansion of Krishna is called as Prabha Prakash. I told you, if you're not writing, it's very difficult to follow because it'll get technical. The topic is such, it dives deep and churns out Chaitanya Charitamrita. So if you have to do justice, we have to jump into the pages of the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So first we have Swayam Roop Krishna, Gopavesh and Gopa Avesh. His form is like Gopa, his thought process, mood is like Gopa. When he expands, first expansion is called as Prabha Prakash. This Prabha Prakash means where the form and mood of Swayamrup Krishna is maintained. What is the example? Krishna dancing during the Rasa dance. The second expansion is called as Vaibhav Prakash. What is Vaibhav Prakash? Very simple. If Prabha Prakash means form and mood is maintained, Vaibhav Prakash means the form and mood is different from Swayamrup Krishna. Complete opposite. What is the example? Krishna in Dwaraka. Now, when Krishna is there in Dwaraka, is the form like a Gopa? No, because he's Dwarakadish. He's like a king. His form is not like a Gopa. Is his mood like a Gopa? Well, no, because there he's in the mood of a Kshatriya. His mood is not like a Gopa. His form is not like a Gopa. So the Krishna of Dwaraka is Vaibhav Prakash expansion of the Supreme Lord. What is another example? Krishna speaking the Bhagavad Gita. When Krishna is speaking the Bhagavad Gita, his form, is it like a Gopa? Well, no. Because we see in the battlefield, Krishna's form is not like a Gopa. It's more like a Kshatriya. And is the mood like a Gopa? Well, no. The mood is also not like a Gopa. So, Krishna in Dwaraka or Krishna during Kurukshetra is that form of the Supreme Lord, which is called as Vaibhav Prakash, which means the form and mood is different from Swayamrup Krishna. Prabhav Prakash means form and mood is same. Vaibhav Prakash means form and mood are different. Simple. Now, these are three forms of Krishna. Now, similarly, there are three forms of Srimati Radharani. If Krishna has three forms, how can Radharani not be in the picture? Wherever Krishna is there, Radharani is there. And wherever Srimati Radharani is there, Krishna has to be there. Hmm? Our Krishna is a big time attention seeker. Wherever Radharani is there, Krishna will just tag along with Srimati Radharani. So just like Krishna has three forms, Swayam Roop, Radha Prakash, and Vaibhav Prakash. Now Srimati Radharani also has three forms. What are the three forms? First, the first form of Srimati Radharani is called as Vrishabhanu Nandini Sri Radha. The first form of Srimati Radharani is called as Vrishabhanu Nandini Sri Radha. We see Bhaktivinoda Thakur in his songs. He writes, Vrishabhanupure Janamaloilo Yabata Vivaha Hobe Vrishabhanupure Janamaloilo Yabata Vivaha Hobe. What does Bhaktivinoda Thakur say? Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, My dear Lord, I have a simple request. What is the request? Vrishabhanupure. Vrishabhanupur means Varsana. Vrishabhanupure Janamaloelo. That my dear Lord, in my next life, if I have to take birth, please give me the benediction that I can take birth in Vrishabhanupur, that is Varsana. And if I have to get married, if I reach the age where I have to get married, Yavata Vivaha Hobe. And you give me the benediction that when I get married, I will get married and I will go to Yavat. Why? Because Radharani is there in Barsana, so I want to be there in Barsana. She gets married and goes to Yavat, so I want to go to Yavat after marriage. Fundamental point is wherever Srimati Radharani is there, our Bhaktivinoda Thakur wants to be there. This is Gaudiya mode. Wherever Radharani is there, Gaudiyas want to be there. Rishabhan Pure Janama Govinda Yavata Vivaha. This is our desire also. That if we have another birth, for different people it is different based on their sadhana. But my dear Lord, if that is there in our charts that we have to take another birth, may that birth be in the land of Sri Vrindavan so that I can associate with the Brajavasis, purify my consciousness, and return back home, back to Godhead as soon as possible. Shubhasya Shigram, the sooner the better, as soon as possible. So this is the first form of Srimati Radharani, Vrishabhanu Nandini Srimati Radharani. Now Vrishabhanu Nandini Sri Radha, whatever the pastimes that Krishna is doing in the land of Vrindavan with Srimati Radharani, that is with Vrishabhanu Nandini Sri Radha. Whatever Vrindavan pastime that Krishna is performing with Srimati Radharani, it is with this form of Radharani, that is Vrishabhanu Nandini Sri Radha. One time Krishna, he went to meet Srimati Radharani, and Srimati Radharani was there inside her house. So our Krishna, he came from outside and said, Oh Sri Radhe, your Krishna is waiting out. So Srimati Radharani said, Krishna? Now in Sanskrit, Krishna also means a black serpent, black snake. So Srimati Radharani said, Black snake? What have I got to do with black snake? Hey, go, shoot. Why have you come here? Please go back. So Krishna said, No, 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 not black serpent. I'm Ghanasham. So Srimati Radharani said, Ghanasham? Because Ghanasham basically means a cloud. Srimati Radharani said, Ghanasham, why have you come here? You are a cloud filled with water, so you go and pour your water in the field. Why have you come here? I didn't invite you. Please go back. So Srimati Radharani, and she said, this Krishna said, Oh, not Ghanasham. I'm Hari. So Srimati Radharani said, Hari? Now Hari also means lion. So Srimati Radharani said, Hari, which means lion. Hey, lion, why are you here? Your job is to be in the forest. Chalo, choo, come back. Don't come here. So Krishna is now scratching his head. What am I supposed to do? For everything that he is saying, Srimati Radharani is practically pulling his leg. So Srimati Radharani, when she says this, Krishna says, Oh, not Hari. This is Chakri. Now Chakri means holder of Sudarshan Chakra, but Chakri also means a potter. You see, in Indian traditional villages, the potter, they are also called as Chakri. So Srimati Radharani said, Acha, Chakri? So why are you here? You go to the marketplace to sell your pots. Why have you come here? I don't want your pots. I have enough pots with me. Chalo, jao, go back. And Krishna says, No, I'm Yashoda Nandan. And for everything that Krishna was saying, it started with Krishna, it then transitioned to Ghanasham, then Hari, then Chakri, then Yashoda Nandan. Whatever he was saying, Srimati Radharani was smashing the argument. And finally, Krishna fell at the feet and said, I don't have any other names. Now you name me. I have no other names. My dear Radharani, I give up. Har man gaye hum. So the place where this pastime occurred, Srimati Radharani, as Krishna was explaining his name, Srimati Radharani would say, Kaha asi? Who is it? Kaha asi? Who is it? And then Krishna would say, It's me, Krishna. So that place where this pastime occurred of Kaha asi? Who is it? Has now become Kosi in Vrindavan, Kosi village. Kahasi, 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 Kosi. Over a period of 5,000 years, that has become Kosi Gaon. So that Krishna who performs this pastime in the land of Kosi with Srimati Radharani, what is the form of Radharani? It is Vrishabhanu Nandini Sri Radha. Another example. Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati in Radharasa Sudhanidhi explains, Venum Karannipatitam Skhalitam Shikhandam Brastan Japita Vasanam Brajarajasunu Tasya Katakshasarghata Vimurchitasya Amradhika Paricharami Kadarasena. Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati explains one time our Vrindavan Bihari Sri Krishna. He was with Madhumangal and Sridham Sakha, and they were entering inside the forest. And now Maya Yashoda has this habit that when Lala is small, Maya Yashoda comes to the forest. He says, because Krishna is very, very small, what if some snake is there, some animals are there? What if they come and attack Krishna? So I have to go and accompany. And Krishna feels very embarrassed because all his friends are coming all by themselves, and it's only Krishna who's accompanied by his parent. So Krishna has some inferiority complex. Imagine you're going for some, if you're a youth and you're going for some uh, party, for example, and all your friends have come all by themselves, and you are the only person who has come with your mother. Now it's embarrassment because everyone has come alone, and you are the only person who has brought his or her father. You almost tell your parent, just go back. I'm all good by myself. I don't need you. Just go back. You're embarrassing me. Go back. So Krishna would look at Mother Yashoda and he would say, Go back. You're embarrassing me. Madhumangal, Sridham are all laughing. Maya, please go back. Mother Yashoda would say, Yes, Krishna, I will go back. But would she really go back? No. Mother Yashoda would stand behind a tree and she would see Lala, what Lala is doing. And here Prabodhananda Saraswati explains, as Krishna is entering the forest, he sees Srimati Radharani. And now Srimati Radharani just gives a sidelong glance to Krishna. Not even a full glance, just a sidelong glance. Radha Kripa Kataksha. Radharani gives a sidelong glance to Krishna. She's also present in the forest. She gives a sidelong glance to Krishna. Now, when she gives a sidelong glance to Krishna, what happens? That's what Prabodhana Saraswati is explaining. Venum Kara Nipatitam. Krishna who flaunts his flute, who always plays his flute. Nipatitam. Patit hona, which means to fall down. Like in Hindi, we say, iska patan ho gaya, which means to fall. Nipatit. Oh, Krishna who flaunts his flute. Now that flute has fallen down to the ground. Skhalitam Shikhandam. That peacock feather that he always has on his head. We spoke about Gaur Govinda Maharaj at the start. Krishna is practically always hearing to whatever we speak. Anyway, so here Srimati Radharani gives a sidelong glance towards Krishna. And Krishna, who flaunts his flute, that flute falls down to the ground. He's holding a peacock feather on his head. That peacock feather now falls down to the ground. Vrasthan Chapita Vasanam Brajaraja Sunu. Brajaraja Sunu, the son of the king of Vrindavan. he has an upper cloth, and that upper cloth now falls down to the ground when Srimati Radharani just gives a sidelong glance. And Prabodhana Saraswati says the icing on the cake is when that Sri Krishna, who in the Gita very boldly proclaims that there is no one superior to him, that Sri Krishna now falls down to the ground completely unconscious. Vimurchitasya, Saraghata Vimurchitasya. That Krishna now completely falls down to the ground, completely unconscious by just one sidelong glance of Srimati Radharani. Prabodhananda Saraswati says, when will that day arise in my life when I can also be a recipient of that sidelong glance? So, who is this Srimati Radharani? This is Vrishabhanu Nandini Sri Radha. Now, coming to our second form of Srimati Radharani. Now, you may have this doubt that the topic is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but we have not even come to speaking about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Please bear with me. We are building the point so that we come to that aspect. Because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a combination of Radha and Krishna. So we have to backtrack. We have to take the movie 5,000 years in the past. We have to rewind a little to understand what's happening in Kali. The second form of Srimati Radharani is called as V Yogini Radha. Now, this is that form of Srimati Radharani who is in separation from Krishna. When Krishna goes to Mathura, when Krishna goes to Dwaraka, that form of Srimati Radharani who's present in Vrindavan after Krishna has gone to Mathura and Dwaraka, etc. That form of Radharani is called as V Yogini Radha. V stands for Viraha. That Radharani who is in Viraha is V Yogini Sri Radha. Look at the depth that Rupa Goswami has given. Look at the depth that Kaviraj Goswami and Prabhupada have given. It is not something fictitious, mythological. Now, my mythology will not have so much depth in three different forms of Krishna, three different forms of Radharani. So second form is V Yogini Radharani. That form of Srimati Radharani, who prioritized the land of Vrindavan, even over Krishna. Krishna left Vrindavan. Krishna went to Mathura and Dwaraka. But Radharani did not go. He lived in the land of Vrindavan. And this is Gaudiya Bhav, prioritizing the land of Vrindavan. Hmm? आराध्यो भगवान् ब्रजेश तनयस् तद्धाम वृन्दावनम् रम्या काजिदुपासनां व्रजवधूं वार्घेन या कल्पिता श्रीमद्भागवतं प्रमाणममलं प्रेम पुमर् ओ महान् श्रीचैतन्य महाप्रभोर्मतमिदं तत्राधर न पर. What is Srinath Chakravarti saying? Srinath Chakravarti says, Aradhyo Bhagavan Brajesh Tanayas Tadhama Vrindavanam. What is our worshipable land? It is the land of Vrindavan. We don't know any other place and we don't want to know any other place. For us, the land of Vrindavan is the highest. When we say Vrindavan, it is Vrindavan, Mayapur and Jagannath Puri. All three on the same. My worshipable spiritual master was giving this example that for the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, just like you see, when a lady is married, she will love the husband, but she will respect the brothers of the husband. She will not love them, but she will respect them. But her love is only for the husband. Similarly, as Gaudi, as we are married to the land of Vrindavan Dham, we love only the land of Vrindavan. We respect all other dhams, Ayodhya, Pandarpur, and all the other places that are there. These are like the brothers of the husband. Our husband is Vrindavan. We are like that married lady who loves only the land of Vrindavan. And all other dhams are like the brothers. We respect them. But for us, Vrindavan is everything. I remember when I was few years back, I was in Vrindavan. And in one of the walls, you see in the walls many times in Vrindavan, there will be verses written of different sadhus. So in one of the walls in Vrindavan, this verse was very beautifully written. बार बार मिलत नहीं यह संजोग अनूप मानुष तन वृंदा विपिन रसिकरि संग बिबिरूप. What does this say? It's in Braj Bhasha. It says बार बार मिलत नहीं यह संजोग अनूप. Again and again, you don't get these things. These three things again and again you don't get. But if you have gotten them, oh, you are the most fortunate. You are more fortunate than even Brahmaji because even he aspires and cries for it. What are the three things? बार बार मिलत नहीं यह संजोग अनूप. First, मानुष तन, human body, human form. Second, Brinda Vipin, the land of Brindavan Dham. And third, Rasikani Sangha Vivirup, the association of sadhus who are very rasik. Again and again, we don't get these things. If we have gotten these things, we are very, very, very fortunate. Not everyone gets. There are so many youth in North America. How many youth are interested in hearing Katha? Handful. Very handful. How many even know about Vrindavan? Handful. How many have got the association of those who are very exalted? Very, very handful. So not everyone gets it. Those who are chosen by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu get this saubhagya. Another Acharya writes, the land of Vrindavan is like mother. वृंदा विपिन प्रभाव सुनी अपनी गुण देत जैसे मलिन बालक को मात गोद बर लेत. Vrindavan Dham is like our mother. Just like a child may be sitting on the lap of the mother, and the child may pass urine, child may pass stool, but the mother doesn't care. She will pick up the child, she will clean the child, and she will love and nourish and care the child just like before. Similarly, Vrindavan Dham is like that. How much ever fallen we are, how much ever papi we are, Vrindavan is like that mother. जैसे मलिन बालक को मात गोद भर लेत. We are like the contaminated children, but Vrindavan is like the mother. She will pick us up, she will clean us up, she will nourish, and she will purify us. So this land of Vrindavan is supremely glorious, and this is why Radharani practically prioritizes the land of Vrindavan even over Krishna. She doesn't go there. Radharani lives in Vrindavan. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says the same thing. न योग सिद्धिर्न ममस्तु मोक्षो वैकुंठ लोकेऽपि न पार्श्वदत्तम प्रेमापि न स्यादिति चेतरन्तु ममस्तु वृंदावन एव वासम. What does Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur say? Na yoga siddhi, my dear Lord. Now look at Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's prayer. It is very, very pray at your own risk. This prayer that he prays in Vrindavan Ashtakam is very, very dangerous. These stunts are performed by expert professionals. Please try at your own risk. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, Na yoga siddhi, my dear Lord, I don't want yoga siddhi. Na mamastu moksha, my dear Lord, I don't even want moksha. Na yoga siddhi, na mamastu moksho, vaikunta loke pina parshvadattam. My dear Lord, I don't even want Vaikunta. Hey, people die for Vaikunta. The Sri Vaishnavas, they pray for Vaikunta. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur said, my dear Lord, you keep your Vaikunta with yourself. I don't want it. I don't want mystic perfections. Prema pinasyat iti chetaram tu. My dear Lord, even prem unto your lotus feet, you keep it with yourself. If by getting all these things, if I am asked to leave the land of Vrindavan, my dear Lord, I don't want it. For me, Vrindavan is first. If by getting these things, I have to quit the land of Vrindavan, my dear Lord, nahi chahiye mujhe. Mamastu Vrindavan eva vasam. This is the only desire I want, my dear Lord. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying. The same thing Raghunath Das Goswami is praying. Nija nikata nivasam dehi govardhanatvam. That, my dear Lord, all that I want is I eternally live near Govardhan, Braj Mandal, 84 coast. So this is Viyogini Radha, who is in separation from that Krishna, who has now gone to Mathura or Dwaraka. Now, third form of Radharani, who is very, very important and in our discussion, is some Yogini Radha. Some Yogini. Just like we have some Kirtan, complete Kirtan. When people come together, Sangha Kirtan. When people come together and glorify the Lord, there's some Kirtan, not Sangha Kirtan, Samyak Kirtan. Similarly, this third form of Radharani is called as Sam Yogini Radha. This is that form of Srimati Radharani who met Krishna at Kurukshetra after 100 years of separation. When there was again meeting after 100 years of viraha, that form of Radharani is some Yogini Radha. Now, what did Radharani tell Krishna when she met at Kurukshetra? Vrindavan, Govardhan, Yamuna, Pulinavan, se sab aur asardika lila, se brajera brajajan mata pita bandhugan bado chitro kemone pasarila. Radharani looks at Krishna and says, "Hey Krishna, you are very vichitra. You are very difficult to understand." Krishna says, "Why?" Now, you see, when you have forgotten something, you try to remind that person about instances or names so that there will be, you say, nostalgia. If all of a sudden, if you're reminded of someone or some place, you say, oh, nostalgia. And sometimes those flash of memories ignites the spark in your heart that you want to talk to that person or you want to visit that person. So Radharani in Kurukshetra looks at Krishna and she reminds him about the places in the land of Brajamandal. Vrindavana, Govardhana, Yamuna, Pulinavan, Sesava, Rasadika Lila. Krishna, you remember Vrindavan? Once upon a time you were living in Vrindavan. Hey, now you've become a big person, but do you remember 100 years back you were living in Vrindavan? You remember Govardhan that you lifted for all of us? Hey, you remember Yamuna, where on the hoods of Kalia you danced? You remember Ras Mandal Krishna, the Nidhivan and Seva Kunj, where we would dance? Radharani is trying to remind Krishna of the places in Braj. Vrindavana, Govardhan, Yamuna, Pulinavan, Sesava, Rasadika Lila. Krishna, you forgot all these things, thike. I can still understand. Say Vrajera, Vrajajar, you forgot the Brajavasis? Those Brajavasis who gave their life for you, who gave their Makhan Misri for you, the butter pots. You stole in all the houses. You forgot them also? ठीक है चलो you forgot Vrindavan, you forgot the Brajavasis, I can still understand. Say Brajera Brajajan Mata Pita Bandhugan, Krishna, you forgot your parents. How can you be so ungrateful? You forgot Nanda and Yashoda. You forgot Brajavasis, okay. You forgot Vrindavan, okay. You forgot Govardhan, okay. You forgot Rasmandal, okay. You forgot Jamuna, okay. Mata Pita Bandhugan, you forgot your parents also, Krishna. What a chitra kemane pasirila, eh? This is very astonishing. Now you have become very big person. Now that you have become king, we are very small in front of you. You have forgotten Krishna everything. Radharani reminds Krishna, Krishna, do you remember? You are that same Krishna. Now I am that same Radharani. Now when you read this section of Chaitanya Charitamrita, it almost looks like some Romeo Juliet story, love story. That Radharani is looking at Krishna and saying, you are that same Krishna, I am that same Radharani. And finally we have met after hundreds and hundreds of years. But Srimati Radharani is actually saying, my dear Lord, everything is same. You are the same. I am the same. Everything is same. But the only thing missing is the land of Vrindavan now. Krishna, things have actually changed. You are no longer Brajendran than Shri Krishna. You have forgotten us, Krishna. We did so much for you. And what did you do? You just left us. You ran away from Vrindavan. You told us that you will come back in 2 days. And what happened? Your friend Puchirika Lota, Puchiri Lota Baba is still waiting. My dear Krishna, what is this? He has not eaten for so many years and years together, only waiting for you. Krishna, you forgot all of us. Srimati Radharani as a Samyogini form of Sri Radha looks at the Kurukshetra Krishna and says, my dear Lord, please come back to Vrindavan. Holding the chariot of Krishna, she is trying to pull the chariot and says, please come back. We don't want to see this form of yours. We want you in Vrindavan. Please come back to Vrindavan. And as Radharani is saying, Radharani is crying, pulling the chariot. There is a transcendental pull of emotions that is happening. Radharani wants that Krishna to come back to Vrindavan. Now, please hold on to this point, dear devotees. Samyogini Radha. Now, Krishna has three forms. Radharani has three forms. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also has three forms. The first form of Gauranga Mahaprabhu is that form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu called as Bhavuk Nimai or Rasik Nimai. That form of Nimai after Diksha, after he gets the mantras from Ishwarapuri. Kiba mantra dila gosai, kiba tara bol. Japite mantra karela pagal. Kiba mantra dila gosai, kiba tara bol. My dear Gurudev, what mantra have you given me? Japite mantra karela pagal. I am becoming crazy, my dear Lord. What mantra is this? Mahaprabhu tells his Gurudev. Now we also chant the same mantra. We don't feel ecstasy. We don't feel pagal. Seeing our chanting, others become pagal. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's chanting is such, oh, he was going crazy by chanting the mantras. This is the first form of Nimai, or first form of Gauranga Mahaprabhu called as Bhavuk Nimai or Rasik Nimai. And this Bhavuk Nimai or Rasik Nimai is the same as Vrishabhanu Nandini Sri Radha. So we are mapping. Vrishabhanu Nandini Sri Radha is the same as Bhavuk or Rasik Nimai in Nadia, Navadvip. The second form of Mahaprabhu is when he is in Gambhira after sannyas. He is now in separation. And as he is in separation, we see in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Mahaprabhu is banging his head against the wall. In Gambhira, in the house of Kashi Mishra, there is a small eye hole. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from that eye hole would see Jagannath and he would run. And Govinda would run. What can Govinda do? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would run and boom, his head would smash against the wall and he would be bleeding in complete separation. This form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is like that Viyogini Radha in separation. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is in front of Jagannath during Jagannath Rath Yatra, it is like that. Some Yogini Radha who is pulling, just like some Yogini Radha is pulling the chariot of Krishna and asking him to come back to Vrindavan. Now Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is having the mood of some Yogini Radha and requesting Jagannath, who is Krishna, to come back to Vrindavan by pulling the chariots. This is what Mahaprabhu is experiencing. What is the mood that is going on in the heart of Gauranga Mahaprabhu? It is the mood of Radharani, primarily the mood of some Yogini Sri Radha requesting that Sri Krishna to come back to the land of Vrindavan by pulling the chariot. That, my dear Lord, it's been long. Reva Rodasi Vetasi Tarutale Cheta Samutkantate. My dear Lord, please come back to Vrindavan. The Kalindi river is there, the trees are there, the Brajavasis are there, Nanda and Yashoda are there, your friends are there, Krishna, everything is same. Only ingredient that needs to be added is you. My dear Lord, please come back. This was some Yogini Radha's prayer to Krishna in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. And similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu during the Rath Yatra is experiencing waves of some Yogini Radha splashing his heart. And now, as they're splashing his heart, he is now crying like some Yogini Radha and pulling the Rath of Jagannath, requesting the Lord to come back to the land of Sri Vrindavan Dham. So, what is the mode that Mahaprabhu is experiencing during Rath Yatra? Oh, it is the mood of Radharani. But which mood of Radharani? It is the mood of some Yogini Sri Radha. Now, I could have said this in one line, but what's the use? It would have just gone over the head. So, we had to build the discussion to understand what are the three types of Krishna, who are the three types of Radharani, who are the three types of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Radharani, how the forms actually combine as to form of Rath Yatra and the form of some Yogini Sri Radha. In this way, we find Mahaprabhu during the Rath Yatra is in the mood of Srimati Radharani, beseeching the Supreme Lord to come back to the land of Sri Vrindavan. Having said this, I very humbly want to stop here. Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai. Srimati Radharani ki jai. Shachinandan Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you for the very, very wonderful class and very eloquently describing all the different aspects of Sri Nityananda, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Sri Krishna, and Srimati Radharani. Now, if you have time, Prabhuji, we would like to have, if anybody has some questions, we can definitely ask them too. If you have time, Prabhuji, is that fine? Wonderful. So we can maintain some order. If anybody has a question, they can use the reactions feature and raise their hand, and we can go in that order. Looks like we have a question already from Sanjana. You can go ahead.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you for the wonderful class. Well, I have like two like simple questions, just repeating like what you said earlier. What were the names of the last two forms of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu?
So there are no names as such. Just like for Krishna, there are names, and for Radharani, you have names. Um, I have practically not come across names, but the moods are explained. So first form is Bhavuk or Rasik Nimai, but then second and third, I have not come across names, but we have the moods that are explained in connection to Sri Radharani.
Oh,
But
okay.
if I come across names, I will definitely let you know.
Okay, thank you, Prabhu. And also you were mentioning how Vrindavan is like the husband and the other dams are like the brother-in-laws and stuff, right? So, do Mayapur and Jagannath Puri, do they fall under like the brother-in-law category or are they equivalent to Vrindavan? Because when you go to like Mayapur, they really deeply connect both of them together. Like Vrindavan and Mayapur is one.
Correct. So Vrindavan, Mayapur, Jagannath Puri, for the Gaudiyas, we have it on the same plane.
Okay.
I think I mentioned that point that Braj, Mayapur, and Jagannath Puri for the Gaudiyas because all three have a very strong connection with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because he was present in Navadvip, and after sannyas he wanted to go to Vrindavan, and after that, almost 18 years he lived in Jagannath Puri. So wherever Shachinandan Gauranga Mahaprabhu is practically present, that's where the Gaudiyas want to live. So these three are very, very glorious. Braj, Mayapur, and Jagannath Puri. All on the
Okay.
same plane.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Right.
I think you can have Mukunda Prabhu go next.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you for your class. And as you said, this systematic description of these different forms of Krishna, Radharani, and Chaitanya make the case more clear. So thank you for that context. I was just curious because the mood of Radharani and Chaitanya are the V-yoga, or sorry, some yoga mood of pulling Krishna back to Vrindavan, but then Krishna, like in this pastime of Krishna, or sorry, Radharani, meeting Krishna at Kurukshetra, Krishna at Kurukshetra is no longer like Rajendra Nandana Krishna, right? He's coming from Dwarka, so he has this different mood. So it it kind of in my head it almost seems like Radharani is trying to appeal to a Krishna who's no longer Rajendra Nandana Krishna, you know? So I was curious, what is Krishna's mood in that situation as Radharani's, trying to bring him back to Vrindavan? Is he Dwarka Krishna? Is he Vrindavan Krishna?
So the point that is mentioned is we see that Srimati Radharani is practically besieging Krishna to come back to the land of Vrindavan. Now, as far as Jagannath is concerned, we know Jagannath is Krishna himself, but he is that form of Krishna who is again separation from Radharani. We know the big story as to how Rohini Maya was speaking about Vrindavan and Krishna hears everything and then his hands goes inside and etc. So he is also that form of Krishna who is in separation from Vrindavan, but is outside of Vrindavan. Likewise, even Kurukshetra Krishna, Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains, he is also Krishna who remembers Vrindavan. In fact, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in many of the verses of Bhagavad Gita connects the verse of Bhagavad Gita to Vrindavan. For example, even Aindra Prabhu would say uh, in the classic verse of Sarva Dharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharana Braja. So our Acharya's comment by saying Krishna externally is saying, well, you surrender unto me. But the Rasik Bhavuk interpretation of that is, well, you give up everything and surrender unto me where? In Braja, because that's where I am present. So even though he's outside of Braja, his heart is still there in Braja. Krishna's heart is always in Braja because we see even in Dwaraka when he is there, This is what Satyabhama and Rukmini had a problem. At night time, he would be saying Radhe, Radhe, Radhe. His pillows would be wet with tears, chanting Radhe, Radhe, Radhe. So even in Dwaraka, he's remembering. He's always remembering Vrindavan. He's always in the mood of Braj. But due to circumstances, he's physically outside of Vrindavan. Likewise, even in Kurukshetra, Krishna is remembering Vrindavan. So both forms of Krishna are same. He's still remembering Krishna. He's still remembering Vrindavan Dham. But due to challenges and circumstances of instructing Arjuna and fighting with the Kauravas, etc., he has to live outside of the land of Vrindavan. Now, Radharani is very bhavuk. She doesn't know all these fighting. She just wants Krishna to be in Braj. But Krishna has some duties apart from that also. He has to fight the demons. He has to make sure dharma is set to the point where it is. So Krishna is having the same mood of wanting to come back to Vrindavan. In fact, Jiva Goswami says in Canto 10, chapter 85, in his Krama Sandarbha, that Krishna came back to Vrindavan. Oftentimes we say, right, that Krishna never came back to Braj. Jiva Goswami's commentary writes, Krishna came back to Vrindavan. Krishna comes back after Krishna killed Dantavakra. Krishna came back to Vrindavan. He came back to Vrindavan through Khelan. He comes back to Vrindavan through Yamuna. He meets the Brajagopis. There is a rasa dance that happens, and then Krishna goes back. Jiva Goswami writes. So Krishna came back. So even after killing demons, his heart is always in Braj. But due to circumstances, Krishna is not able to live like the way he used to. So similarly, Kurukshetra and Jagannath are having the same mood of wanting to go back, but circumstances are not suitable enough. But Radharani is saying, I don't know all these things. You just come back to Vrindavan. हमें ये सब नहीं पता, आप बस ब्रज आ जाइए. So in that way we understand. Samyogini Radha is desiring and beseeching Krishna to come back. And Krishna wants to come back, but due to circumstances is not able to come. But at the same time, Krishna is physically not present, but at the same time is also physically present. As Uddhava is saying, Vrindavanam parityaja padam ekam na gacchati. Our Shyamasundar doesn't keep a foot outside of Vrindavan. So he is physically present, but at the same time he is physically not present. Now this is achintya. This is madness. This is difficult to fathom. So in this way we figure out. Hare Krishna.
And we can have one more last question for Angel.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for the
Hare
wonderful
Krishna.
class, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, actually, I heard about this pastime from Amreen Prabhu that where Krishna is in Kurukshetra and is being pulled by the devotees of Vrindavan to Vraj back, where this Rath Yatra pastime happens just like Baldev, Subhadra Maya is going ahead and followed by Baldev's chariot, followed by Jagannath ji, and where Radharani is in too much separation and she is about to leave her body, but not in that sense leaving body, but in that so much separation. So, Prabhuji, these two different pastimes where one in Srimati Radharani is pulling herself up the cart and the second one where the Brajavasi is pulling the cart back to Vrindavan. So, Prabhuji, how to understand this? There's like there are variations. How to understand these variations?
So Brajavasis are pulling the cart, but doesn't mean Srimati Radharani is not pulling the cart. She is Brajavasi Shiromani. She is Chudamani. If Brajavasis will not have any desire which is different from that of Srimati Radharani. The Braja Gopis are uh, the mood. The mood of the Braja Gopis or the mood of the Manjaris is where they're anukul. They follow the mood of Srimati Radharani. Radharani is their life and soul, and based on whatever Radharani wants, that's what they will do. So if the Braja Gopis are doing, doesn't mean Radharani will not do. In fact, she is the person who is beseeching the Lord to come back to the land of Vrindavan. So Brajavasis are pulling, but Srimati Radharani is also helping. She is also pulling. And that translates here to Radharani as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu pulling. And the Brajavasi associates who are present are the eternal associates like Advaita Acharya, Srivas, Haridas Thakur, and so many others who are the Lord's eternal Brajavasi associates. So the feminine associates are now coming as male associates. Srimati Radharani is coming as male, and the feminine associates like the Braja Gopis are now coming as male associates. So Radharani is also helping there. Radharani is also pulling because she is the one who wants Krishna and Vrindavan. How will she just give it to the other Sakhis and she will not do? So Radharani is also pulling. But at the same time, the Brajavasis are also doing, and that same translates in Kali Yuga as Srimati Radharani coming as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the mood of Radharani, Mahaprabhu's pulling, and that same Brajvasi associates are now coming as Navadvip Vasi associates.